During the American Civil War, between the bloody years of 1861 and 1865, 1.1 million horses and mules died in service to the Union and Confederate armies. This is the tale of three who survived.
Morning heat. It's that big, blazing, white orb sun coming up over the horizon. You would never guess it is the beginning of that time of less light and more dark. But there it is. That sun is busting out over the sandy pine trees, shooting up into a spotless sky. We are always happy to see it, even though those darn flies are already biting. Grass getting a little browner now, and the noisy crows are crowding around the water, chatting among themselves and yelling to their comrades in distant trees. They surely know to move out of our way as we stretch and sidle towards our drink. Miss Adira is coming, and we call to her knowing her scent and the strange outline of her billowing cloth against the sun. She brings yellow kernels of corn and sweet oats from our own stretching fields. She is bent a little from the work. She is always working. We know we are horses. Let me tell you our story. Oh, I forgot. Pardon me. I am Gideon. I live with my friends, Fleur, Sherman, Marcus, Little Black, Tiny, Percy, Midnight, Bess, Fanny, Gertie, Edwin, and Polly. We live in this land with its wood buildings and fencing. Foxes, turkeys, deer, and so many small birds and rabbits, it's hard to count them. Possum, and sometimes a family of skunk, too. Smelly creatures, if they take a dislike to you. We stay away from them mostly and keep to ourselves. We have lively conversations with the field mice, though, and their enemies, the talkative cats. Lots of smart cats here. Independent sorts curling their tails around the corners of barns and fences, licking their paws, and generally being know-it-all and darn satisfied with life. Good company, though. Better than the dogs, who always seem to want us to move somewhere at their request. They bark and chase and follow Miss Adira and Lil Mr. Barrel around the farm. We still call him Lil Mister, even though he is a man now, since Big Mr. Isaac went away to the war. He up and left Miss Adira and Little Mr. Barrel all alone. We don't know if he will ever come back. So much talk here about the war. Even the deer know there is a lot of death, smoke, and booming somewhere in the Southland. Back to our morning here and Miss Adira. She seems not herself today. Just like when she was holding that paper and she spent extra time with us and seemed to want us by her side for a longish time. We horses saw her watching little Mr. Barrel walk away across those fields. Expect he'll be back soon, but something doesn't seem quite right. She's trying to tell us something, but I don't know what it is. We horses must live in our own world. The best people we know, and Miss Adira is one of them, understand that. But still, I think she wants me to understand her more than usual. I'm trying. I see the man and woman from the next farm coming to see Miss Adira now. They are hugging her, and the woman is crying. The man comes over to me and calls me by my name. "Hey, Gideon, old boy, we will miss you." Not sure what he means. And then he says, "We'll take care of your friends for you. You need to take care of your mistress." We horses like to concentrate on the matter at present. So I went back to my eating, and the man walked away after some time. His missus went with him, and Miss Adira gazed at us for a while, then went into her house for what seemed to us like a real long time, without her usual bustling round the garden and well and wash tub. When she did come out, seemed like an age, I hardly knew who she was. She smelled the same, but looked like a man. I was very surprised, I can tell you. She spoke softly and sadly to me and the others. The man from the next farm over came back with my old friend Gray Bucky pulling his wagon. Bucky called out to me as he always does and said, "I heard you're going away, Gid. That true?" I called back, "Don't know, but something's up. Miss Adira looks kind of like a man." Miss Adira and I sometimes went riding into the fields. She used to just throw a blanket on my back, but I knew what a saddle was, so I figured I could wear the neighbor man's saddle just the same as a blanket. Bucky whinnied again as he moved off down the road. "See ya, Gid, and good luck and health to you, my friend." I called back, "Fare thee well, Buck, and I thank you kindly." I still don't know why or where I'm supposed to go, but figured Miss Adira would tell me when the time came. Everyone crowded around me, especially Bess and Fanny, but even old Bones and Marcus were anxious and snorting more than usual. Sherman kept his distance as he usually does, but I could tell he did not want the herd disturbed. He likes his peace. Little Black and Tiny, the ponies, were huddling together as if to keep a coming storm at bay. And Fleur, the lanky bay mare, and her friends, Fanny and Gertie, were in a tizzy, asking me question after question. "Gideon, are you leaving us? Don't leave us. Who will care for us?" I wished with all my heart that I could answer them, But a horse's life is like that. We have to wait for answers, even when we are scared. There was a real stir now in the herd as Miss Adira came towards us again. She seemed to be checking all the parts of that saddle, just like she checks our hooves and such. And with that, she saddled me and tightened up my cinch pretty tight. Miss Adira put some people food in her saddlebags, gave every horse a stroke, and with tears in her eyes, tried to bid everyone a farewell, but the words seemed to get stuck kind of in her throat. Up on my back she went, and we turned towards the herd so I could say my goodbyes. Fleur, take care. Sherman, old boy, look out for everyone. Marcus, so long. Little Black and Tiny and Percy and Little Red, watch your manners and pay attention to the big horses. Old Bones and Midnight, eat plenty to keep up your strength. Be good, little Edwin and Polly. Fare thee well, mares. Take care of the others till I get back, which I surely will. Miss Adira and I turned towards the south then, to some place she called Enlisting. And off we went, down that dusty road. I was kind of excited, even though I didn't want to leave my friends, and Miss Adira even seemed to brighten up as we rode. A breeze was helping with the heat, and I was stepping out fine, like enjoying some new sights and sounds and smells. I didn't look back, but I did whinny when I heard Bess calling after me. "I'll be back, Bess," I said. But truthfully, I didn't know. We horses never do. Well, I am surely tired now, I can tell you. Miss Adira and I can hardly sleep for the cold and wet, it being the dark season approaching. Nothing but noise and death around us. But we consider to be safe right now, as the big captain soldier put us at the rear of the army to guard the mule trains and all of those things packed in their pack saddles and wagons that the soldiers need. I feel extra sorry for those artillery horses, pulling the big guns and all through the worst mud I have ever seen. I only have to carry little Miss Adira, and that's no trouble, even when we are galloping high speed. Hard riding, for sure, especially when those bullets are whizzing past us. I've seen many a poor horse fall right on his soldier, screaming in pain. Both of them have to say, the war is no fun, and wish we were back home again. But we can't seem to find little Mr. Barrel, so I guess we have to stay. I get my oats in a bag now. Kinda uncomfortable, but tastes just as good as at home. Miss Adira pays special attention to my hooves and my legs. She's always checking them to make sure I am not hurting in any way. We covered some rough old ground, filled with rocks and stubble of dried grass and hay and such, and sometimes for 2 or 3 days at a time. I reckon my stomach isn't as big as it was, but I am surely hardened with horse muscle. Not giving up yet. Not by a long shot with Miss Adira here by my side. The soldiers are hammering away and yelling now, building what they call a pontoon bridge across that river there. Some poor mules drowned the other night trying to cross because the soldiers made them go. Horrible, sad sound, braying as they died. Never want to hear that again. I was weeping in my hoarse way for those poor souls. Miss Adira, too. Some soldiers got together and told that old captain that they wouldn't fight because of the mules. He didn't even get mad, just talked. Building and hammering and yelling, weary of the sound, but better than my kind dying going across that river. Watching for the sky to get lighter. Even with all of those clouds, I'll know when it's daytime, because horses always do. Miss Adira is going into the woods now to take care of her particulars. Hard for a woman person out here with all these men soldiers, but she is really good at hiding herself. Sometimes she even takes me with her, says I am her shield. Anyway, horses don't care much about those things. I reckon a shield is a good thing to be for my friend. Seems like the whole army is stirring now. I feel Miss Adira getting a little stiff as she does when she starts hearing those big guns. But she stays as calm as she can while saddling me and getting me ready to ride. That captain soldier is coming over now, ordering us to ride out and check the flank. So that's what we're going to do, even though I'd rather stay here in the trees by the mule trains where it's safer. I feel for the general's horses. They have to cross that bridge with bullets screaming and ride out in front of the soldiers just to give the soldiers cheer. Seems awfully dangerous out there for a horse, since those bullets and shells don't know the difference between men and animals. And sometimes I swear those graycoats aim at the horses. What we ever did to them to deserve that, I can't imagine. But then our soldiers do the same. It's a sorry sight to see a horse die while he's just doing his job. Miss Adira's got her foot in the stirrup now, and she is up on my back, asking me to make a sharp right turn. And away we go, through bramble, mud, and woods, to the north, I think, to find out whether the graycoats have crossed that river further up and plan on putting our bluecoats in a darned uncomfortable bind, while the blues going over that bridge are trying to go at those grays from the front. Squeezing through branches and crossing logs. Miss Adira is getting a little scraped up, and so am I, but we have to try to stay out of the clear where we might be seen and shot by the graycoats. No chance to get any speed here. We are moving nice and slow-like and quiet as we can be, but moving, so we can help our soldiers. Darn glad I had all those oats. All the while, the booming and whistling of artillery and guns just to the south. Always death in this war. Miss Adira and I keep moving. She strokes my neck and says, "Good boy, Gideon. You're a good boy." It makes me feel better, even when I am a little scared. Clearing ahead, we see sky and fields. We make a right turn to creep along that bushy tree line so as not to burst out into the open until Miss Adira is sure no graycoats are around, kind of like deer. "Let's go, Gideon," she says, and points me towards a rise in the ground. We can surely see better all the way south from that rise towards the fighting. We head up the hill, looking down the other side. No grays. For a moment, we are at peace. just like home. No soldiers near us, just Miss Adira and me. I know she thinks of little Mr. Barrel. Wish I could find him for her. All of a sudden, that dreaded whizzing sound is upon us, and Miss Adira calls out, "Gid, I've been hit! Have to get back! Help me out, boy!" And away I go back towards the woods and our soldiers, with Miss Adira bravely clutching her arm with one hand and my reins with the other. No matter, I know where to go and what to do. We crash through that underbrush and through the branches as fast as I can go, making it back to our soldiers pretty darn quick. My heart pounding with fear and worry for myself and my friend. A young drummer boy got my reins back in camp, and another soldier helps Miss Adira down. Her face is tear-stained, but she kisses my flank. Then they take her to see the surgeon man. Someone takes my saddle off and gives me some water, and then I wait. The sounds of the guns and artillery so loud, so much smoke, so many screams and yells from soldiers and generals, bullets splitting trees and killing horses and men, even where I am standing. Want to run away, but must stay. Seems like an age or 2 ages. And then Miss Adira is coming back, her arm wrapped in a bandage, right over her sleeve. She looks at me and smiles. "Gideon," she says, "God was with us today. Bullet went through my sleeve and just nicked my arm. I'll be fine. You did well, my dear horse." I am giving a happy snort and feeling that Miss Adira and I can get through anything this war throws at us. We kind of settle in and wait. Miss Adira thinking the captain might want something else from us, and me hoping we can just stay put. Darkness coming, and guns falling silent, but no soldier is happy tonight. Death has come to the army, and now we hear the sounds of death from the fields. We can only wait again. So much waiting in war. Miss Adira looks up at the sky and says, "Gideon, the sky is lit up with ribbons of light. I never saw that before. Can you see?" Now, horses don't look up at the sky, but I could see Miss Adira's face pointed up at the lights in the night sky, and I trust her. I know she speaks the truth. Something funny happened when the sun came up, though. Miss Adira took care of me, groomed me, fed me, and saddled me, but when the army went one way, we went the other. She said I shouldn't worry about it, and I didn't. I'm glad to be heading away from the war, even if we didn't find little Mr. Barrel, thinking maybe he'll come back all on his own, if he can escape those bullets. So Miss Adira and I are setting off once more towards the north, going by the roads now sometimes, but careful to slip back into the trees if we suspect that old gray general is sending his soldiers our way. Been many days of riding. So many fields and hills and some of those stone bridges to cross if we can't swim across the creeks. Our journey gets kind of quiet as we move north. Our blue coat soldiers pass us going south sometimes, The war seems far away now, just like it did at home. We're making a turn now towards some pine trees in the east. And Miss Adira suddenly stops me. She is looking hard at something moving between the trees, but not fearful, just interested. I'm not afraid either, not like I was with the guns booming. We are walking slow towards the trees, and suddenly I hear a whinny and another one. It's a pretty little gray mare and a chestnut mare, all saddled but with no soldiers around them. We keep on walking towards the mares, who are standing quietly next to something on the ground. It's a gray coat soldier, all injured and breathing hard and looking like he's about to leave this earth. Miss Adira calls to him, "You there! Do you need help?" The soldier, only a boy like the drummer boy with the army, just moans and asks for some water. Miss Adira puts her pistol away, gets down and lets me tend to myself while she gives this poor young man some of her water. He whispers to her, "I'm done for, Yank. All shot up. Tried to run with my horse and comrade, but he gets himself killed. So now I am dying with 2 horses and just want my horses to get taken care of." Miss Adira leans over him then, caring like, and all of a sudden she kind of starts back and says, "Sir, where did you get this scarf?" She was looking at a bloody piece of rag that was tied around that poor fellow's wound, and he could barely speak, but whispers, "Kind Yank soldier boy gave it to me to stop my bleeding." Miss Adira looks at me and says, "Kid, I gave this scarf to Beryl when he left, wove it myself for him. He must be near to us." And then that poor gray coat boy, he up and dies. Just like that, before Miss Adira could talk to him more. He must have known she would care for the horses. And little Mr. Beryl, he helped this boy too. "Well, kid," says Miss Adira, "how do you like that? Nothing to bury him with, so we will just have to take the mares home with us and find someone who can come to give this poor soul his rightful resting place." She places some pine branches over the soldier's face and turns to those quietly waiting mares. "What do you think, Gideon? Shall we call the gray Sunflower and the chestnut Mary?" Of course, she knows I wouldn't mind either way, horses not being particular about names people give them. The gray called Sunflower speaks to me. "Where are we going, big blue coat horse? Hoping not back to the war." And her friend, the chestnut Mary, says, "Wherever it is, we want to stay together." I introduced myself, of course, and told him we are going to a fine place with plenty of grass and oats and water and no fighting. Miss Adira gets them nicely roped to us, swings up on my back, and we set off towards the big river. I am surely ready to see my home again. And there is a spring in my step. Sunflower and Mary can barely keep up, but I know, as horses always do, that home is near. Can smell it. Miss Adira is laughing a little as she tries to keep me from galloping across the familiar fields. I know she is sad that little Mr. Beryl is not with us, but I know he will return. I just feel it in my bones. Meanwhile, I will try to help my friend as best I can as a horse. Ho there! What do I hear and smell on the wind? Is it Bess? Fanny? Gertie? I am whinnying back as we round the corner to our farm. Joy is everywhere. Hey, Marcus, Sherman, Fleur, and you rascals, little Black and Tiny, little Red and Percy and Old Bones, you too. Here's 2 new faces, Sunflower and Mary. I hope you like them. because they are staying for good.